Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of What If I Told You with your girl Fiona Johnson. So for the first episode of 2018, I just want to talk about something real quick, and it involves a classic 20th century film title, The Matrix. Now some of you UK people might have noticed it was on TV over Christmas, and in my head I was like, why not? I definitely remember loving it the first time, but I couldn't remember it since that initial viewing, so I thought I'd stick it on. Now, if you haven't seen it, stop this video, go watch it and come straight back. Are you done? Good. So, now that everyone's up to speed, I can get straight to the main point. Whilst I was watching it, I noticed something super strange about the scene where Neo gets introduced to Morpheus and has the whole Matrix thing explained to him. Blue pill, red pill, etc, etc. And that's what was so confusing about the whole thing, because when I watched it over Christmas, there was none of that explanation at all. The whole scene had no dialogue, not one word from when Neo and Trinity arrive at the hotel to when they leave Morpheus's room. Like, it was such an iconic moment, and the way that I remember it is I was being told all these rules about how the Matrix happens and the journey that Neo was about to embark on or whatever, but it just wasn't there. And at first I just put it down to good acting. Like, I still got the gist of the relationship between the two characters and what was going on in the scene, but it made me go crazy because I could literally hear Lawrence Fishburne's fucking voice saying that blue pill, red pill line. But yeah, don't take my word, look for yourself. Is this how you remember the scene? Now if that's how you remember it, then I personally compare you to Agent Smith, programmed to keep order within the Matrix, because this is some crazy glitch, my friend. So yeah, I left it for a couple of days, but then it just keeps spinning around in my head, you know? So I did a little digging and found the screenplay online of the scene that you just watched, and get this, there's absolutely no dialogue between any of the characters. I've got a screenshot here and everything, just get a read of that. fully bizarre. And it was just after I'd done all of this that I remembered a podcast that I'd listened to a while back. I'll link you to it in the description of this video. It's about something called the Mandela effect. I'll skim over it here, but I'll link you to some good videos on it down below as well. But basically the idea is that there's a collective false memory, and the reason why it's called the Mandela effect is because the first time it happened was when people thought that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s in prison, when really he only died like 5 years ago. But yeah, the podcast is actually talking about the Berenstain Bears, which everyone thought was spelled Berenstein, but it's actually AIN at the end. And they were discussing a group of people who believed that the name of the books was Berenstain with an E at one point. But we've shifted into a parallel universe, an alternative timeline if you will, where the name of the books is the Berenstain Bears. So as you can imagine, this is all getting a little bit close to my own experience. And just when I was sitting right on the edge of toppling into insanity, my flatmate told me about C-3PO's silver leg and I fell right into the rabbit hole. And if you don't know about C-3PO's silver leg, I'll just run through it real quick. C-3PO is a droid in Star Wars who is completely gold, or so we thought. His right leg's actually been silver the whole time. Anyway guys, that's going to conclude this week's episode of What If I Told You. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have your own Mandela effect stories, and next week I'll let you know if they're on my radar too. And while you're down there, if you liked what you saw, give us a like, and if you want to make sure you don't miss any of these episodes, then make sure you subscribe too. Until next time.